Alright, let's get riding. Alright, so a lot of fan theories going out there around new Star Wars movie coming out next year. Can't be too many theories about the one coming out this year, Rogue One, because, well, quite frankly, it's telling us a backstory to Episode 4, A New Hope, and we already know exactly what happens at the end of it. So, moving along, Episode 8. A lot of weird information going on about who Snoke really is. And I've liked some of the theories about how it's really Darth Plagueis, about how he's been manipulating everything behind the scenes for a long time and everything else. And there's been theories about who Maz Kanata is, about how she may be one of the Jawas, or who she even really is. But I've got a weird theory of my own I thought of the other night reading all this stuff, and to me it makes more sense than all the rest of them combined. Only it's a two-parter. There's a dark side component to it and a light side component to it, and both of them really kind of make sense as well as not making sense. So we'll start out with the dark side one first, and that is that the true identity of Snoke is our beloved R2-D2. Because when you think about R2, one of the first things you really notice is that R2 is in every film. And he's in almost every scene. Like he's been manipulating things from the very beginning. And when you think about it, all the other droids are only ever concerned with fixing the ship in Episode 1. They're only concerned with what they do. Somehow R2 makes it through every instance of Star Wars without a single memory wipe. Even in the Star Wars The Clone Wars, he's Anakin's been told several times by Obi-Wan Kenobi to have R2's memory wiped, yet it never happens. R2's memory is always intact. He's the only droid that's, like I said, never had his memory wiped. He continually is on the scene all the time. He is always hanging out with the show's the movie's main and show's main protagonists. He's always there with Anakin. He's always there with Luke. He's always there whenever things go wrong. Yes, he's also there when things go right as well, but he's always there when things go bad, when things go south. Now, why is this important? This is important because without him there, everything goes kind of normally. When sorry folks, got a little bit of frog in my throat here this morning. R2-D2 is the one that sits there in Anakin's ear the whole time during his corruption to the dark side. When you look at it, you would think that Anakin would have the strongest sense and the strongest pull toward 3PO, because he's the one that built C-3PO, according to the prequels. However, he doesn't even pay any attention to 3PO once his mother is killed. It's like the 3PO is just a lawn ornament or something. Some useless trinket to be yelled at and pushed around and everything else. And I know that's supposed to be part of the quote-unquote slapstick humor of the whole thing, but R2's the one that forms the bonds with everybody. R2's the one that, like I said, I think R2 is more than what he lets on to be. Another prime example of that would be the fact that it just seems like R2 has to be a Force user. There's too many things going on with R2, especially in the prequel movies, and somewhat in the original movies, that you sense there's something else special about R2. Like, he's the only droid that can actually use the Force. He's the only droid that's ever used the Force. Even Yoda pays special attention to R2. Like, he knows there's something there. He may be afraid to guess what that something is, but he realizes that something else is at play here. Now, the other theory I had was, what if it's not Snoke? Who else could it be? And the next best thing, oh well, one more thing about R2 being possibly Snoke. When you look back and think about it, where did R2 come from? Naboo. Same place the Emperor's from. Yes, I also know Padme's from Naboo as well. However, it could also play into the whole Darth Plagueis thing. If Darth Plagueis were to have died, he could have put his consciousness into R2. And if you think about it, this mysterious Snoke didn't come around until after the events of episode 6. Supposedly he's been working his way in the background, but he doesn't exist, and now he exists, but who's all of a sudden on the sidelines? Who is it that all of a sudden exists where no one did in the past? You know, R2, Snoke comes around and who disappears? R2. R2 is now shut down. Hasn't moved. Snoke is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Why is that? I think I might be able to pump it in. Awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure I am. That looks like it might be the right fucking road. Let's check. no idea what it might be strawberry lane. I'm trying to flip around. This is going to delay me getting back. The next person that R2 could be is Maz Kanata. Like I said, R2 appears to be a Force user. There are things that only R2 would know, and interactions that only R2 would seem to have that Maz Kanata has seemed to have had. One, everybody in the Star Wars canon knows exactly who Maz is. Everyone. So what does that mean? Well, you can take it one of two ways. That either means that everybody's met Maz and we haven't for some unknown reason, or that Maz finally came out of her shell, and she'd been in hiding this entire time. Now, why would this be important? It's important because, as I said before, R2 seems to be the only droid ever built to have Force powers, and she certainly does. There's very few people that would have known what exactly happened to Luke's lightsaber. Somehow, Maz Kanata apparently knew and acquired it. The whole theory behind her being a Jawa a lot of it stems around the fact that Jawas are everywhere as well, and that she seems to have collected all this stuff. But what if she's actually R2? She would have just as much of a connection to the pod races, to remind her of Anakin. She would have just as much of a connection to the lightsaber, because Anakin was her quote-unquote master for a long time. And when you think about it, she could actually fit inside of R2. What do we know? R2's not around when she's on screen. There's a plus. Two, she could fit inside of R2 and be manipulating the whole time. Three, we know from a deleted scene that she shows up inside the Rebel base before R2 reactivates himself. And that too is very important.